Turf Business TV today is joined by Eddy from KRC Genk. Eddy, forgive me, I'm not going to try and pronounce the surname because I'll only get it wrong. So thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, hello.
Well, shall we start right at the kind of peak at the moment? You've just come off of the back of an international fixture, which has been the first for the club hosting the Belgian national team for quite a while. So how was that yesterday?
Yeah, it was amazing. We were very happy to host the national team at our stadium. Not only from the pitch team, but also from the whole organization, of course. But yeah, the players were very happy with the pitch. The crowd was very happy with the pitch, and yeah, we were happy as well. We built up the pitch to a peak level since we knew they were coming, and yeah, I think we delivered. So we're quite happy.
So that must say something about the job you've been doing. If they're, put you back on the map for them after 12 years, that personally must be very satisfying.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's not only because we have a good pitch, of course. It's the stadium and it's the organization and the national stadium. The pitch is in a very bad condition at the moment. So yeah, they need to expand their views, and yeah, then they ended up coming playing in Genk. But yeah, it really gives us some recognition for our hard work all year round to host a team like that. Yeah.
So when you got the call that said, "Okay, national team are coming to play," was that woohoo or was it excuse me, was it oh Christ? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I think the official confirmation was halfway of January somewhere.
Okay.
And yeah, we knew it before, but it wasn't official still. But yeah, half of January we knew it. So then we started, yeah, getting the pitch in the best shape possible.
So what did you do differently?
Not that much. I think I only gave it one extra feeding, which I normally wouldn't have done, and I got some help from Dennis Morris as well. I got a Premier one, battery charged, of course,
Sure.
on demo. They were sending it to me normally 5 days before the game, but they forgot. So I met with Tom, and then he did a speed delivery from England to Genk. So I received the machine on Friday morning. So on Sunday morning, I was just on my own cutting the pitch, length and width. I spent like 5 hours and a half walking behind the mower. But it just gave that little bit of extra to the pitch. So I'm very happy with the help from Dennis.
From your point of view, now that's over, is that something that is kind of a highlight of your career so far, or is it something that kind of is just one of those many experiences that you've had?
Yeah, I consider it one of the highlights. It's not the highlight of my career, I feel, but yeah, I mean, it's a unique experience, of course, to host the Red Devils and presenting a pitch to them like this. But yeah, I think I've had some better moments in the past.
Well, we'll touch on some of those a bit later. Let's talk about your journey now. So obviously, grounds managers are not that common across Europe. There's a lot of contractors that are involved in looking after surfaces. What was your first steps to getting interested in the job?
Well, yeah, I think I'm quite of a funny story in the business. So I have a bachelor in biotechnology. So I did landscaping and landscape designing. So that's what I did starting 23 years. Yeah. When I was 23, I started working for a landscaping company. And after some years, I went back to my student job. So I became a supervisor for ISS to do the industrial maintenance of a trucking building company of DAF trucks.
Right.
So
Okay.
I was in charge of the new paint shop factory there. And after 3 years, the job opening at Genk came. Somebody told me about it, and I was like, okay, let's give it a try. And I think that like 11 people coming in for the job, all with a history in groundsmanship. which I didn't have. And in the end, they took a risk and went for me. And yeah, from so on, I started learning. I started connecting with people, building up my network, and now I'm at this point where I feel like we are the standard in Belgium. Maybe that's a bad thing to say, but I really feel like we are. It's us, Leuven, Bruges as well. But yeah, so it's been quite a journey, but and it's still building up. I feel.
What level did you come in at? Was that straight in as manager?
Well, I was supposed to be a manager after 9 months, so I needed to walk along with the interim manager, which was my right hand at the moment, Rolando. He's now 73 years old.
Right,
So back
okay, yeah.
then he was 68. So I was literally walking hand in hand with him over the pitch and learning from him. But then Corona struck, I think, when I was 4 months in. So I became the official head groundsman after 6 months. And yeah, it just evolved naturally. So yeah, I was very lucky to end up at the club at the right time. So yeah.
So 5 years in the role, you've come a long way in a relatively short period of time to be at the level you're at now, I would say.
Yeah. When I started there, things were completely different. We were with a staff of 3 people when I started. The machinery we had was, yeah, it was crap. Things were falling apart. We had an enormous maintenance cost on the machinery. We had very little machinery. I think we had like 2 Dennis mowers. We had an old New Holland tractor which was falling apart. I think we had one aerator which was also falling apart. The pitches, the training pitches, they were in terrible condition. The first year I started there, I started on the 14th of October in 2019, and we did a complete returfing of the main training pitch on January 9th because players were up until their ankles in mud. So the pitches were just terrible. There wasn't any budget for a decent fertilizing program. And yeah, again, we were with 3 people for back then also 8.5 pitches. So yeah, it was terrible to. It was fun to work. I learned a lot, but the conditions, they were terrible. And yeah, then after 1 year, we gradually started replacing some machinery. Um, and now we're at a point where I feel like we have everything we need, everything we wanted as well. We're only looking to expand now because we're building a new training facility. So by the end of 26, we will have a complete new training facility for our main team. So we're just looking to expand our machinery for that and maybe some extra staff as well. I'm not sure about that at the moment, but we'll see. But yeah, it's been an amazing journey, and I'm glad to be where we're at.
So when you came in, you recognised that what you had wasn't up to doing the job that needed to be done to get the pitch in good condition. Did you have to convince the club that they needed to make the investment, or had they recognised that before you came through the door?
No, I did. I had to. I did spend a lot of time in in. Sorry. I spent a lot of time in convincing the club that we needed to change our machinery and expand. And thing is, what I always hear from a lot of guys, yeah, we don't get what we want. But I didn't just go into the boardroom and say, yeah, I want a new mower, I want a new tractor. I I spent a lot of time in Excel files, for instance, just keep track of costs and maintenance and repairs of the machines that I already had. And yeah, like after 1 year, I spent like 15,000 euros in repairs and maintenance of the tractor. So it made no sense of doing that again and again and again. And that's how I convinced them to buy a new tractor. That's how I convinced them of buying a new mower. And then I convinced them of buying 2 more Dennis mowers for to do the cleaning up after a training session or after a game. And then they saw the result. And step by step, I got more and more. I delivered better and better results, and then it's just a circle that goes around and keeps on spinning around. So yeah.
So you made a business case, and then you backed it up with results. Is
Yeah,
essentially
yeah.
what we're talking
That's how
about
we
there.
do it at Genk, and that's how they like me to do it as well. And in the beginning, it was a very tough fight to get what I want, and it was just going in there with the information I already had, and still I wouldn't get anything. Going in there again, trying to get the information that I had better, and now when I go in with an Excel file, they're just like, yeah, Eddie, we don't need to see at your Excel file. We know you did your homework. It's okay.
So you built that level of trust, but that level of trust, I guess, has been helped by your previous roles where you've been in management in big organisations and you've had to prove the business case to get what you want. Would that be fair?
Yeah, that's completely true. I think that's also the reason why Genk went for me instead of a proper groundsman with experience on the pitch. It's just because I had that management role in the past, and it's helping me now. So yeah.
So recruiting your team, how did you go about that? Because you've expanded that team as well as improved the equipment. What was the pool that you had to call on like in Belgium?
Yeah, that's also something unique for our position at the club. So whenever we hire someone new at the club, it's always done by a recruitment bureau, except for us.
Right. Okay.
I pick my own people. So I get the solicitations in. I choose who I want to speak in person, and then I always ask them if they can come on a trial for like 1 day, 2 days, maybe a week if they can, and see if they like the job, if we like how they are doing the job, and if we have like a connection. Because I feel like I'm only as strong as my team is, and I can have the best groundsman in the world in my team, but if he doesn't feel like a part of the team, then it's not going to work. So that's how I try to build my team. So I handpick my people. I brought in some friends of mine as well in the past. Some did an okay job. Some I had to let go as well. But now I'm at the point, yeah, in which the 8 people staff I have, I trust them, and it's a very good working machine. Whenever someone calls in sick on a Saturday or a Sunday, it's not only one, it's 2 people who say like, yeah, okay, I'll come and replace him. So yeah, I'm very happy with the team.
That's great, and I think the working relationship is so important when you've got teams because you're working closely together and having those personalities that fit. I guess is in many ways more important than the technical skills because you can build those technical skills. You can't necessarily build and change your personality.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. Yeah, I think I only had one guy with experience coming in, and all the other they had no experience, but they were keen on learning. They work hard. They and they know that they have to be flexible in the job. I mean, we have to work on Saturday, on Sunday. For instance, 3 years ago, we wouldn't come in on a Saturday if they had a training session. We would prepare the pitch on a Friday afternoon, and the trainers they kept on, Eddie, this isn't the standard that we want. You need to upscale your standard, and they were completely right. But three
Yep.
years ago, I was with 4 people, so then it was very hard. And since we were at 5 people, then we got in at Saturday, and now, yeah, of course, we're there on every single day of the week. So I ask a lot of them, but they know they get a lot from me back as well. And whenever they want a day off or a week off, I'll just say, yeah, okay, take the week off, take the day off. I also have a pool of student workers, of pensionate workers who can come in and help whenever we need them. So like, um, I think we had a week school holiday, a bank holiday 3 weeks ago, and I had 3 people of staff who wanted to be home with the children. I said, like, okay, it's no problem. Bad luck I had, it was the first week of very good weather in Belgium. So I had to do I did a small renovation on all of my pitches. So yeah, I got 2 student workers in who I trust as well. They're part of the team. My dad, he came over every single day just for a half day to cut the youth pitches with the triplex mower, and everything worked out in the end. So yeah, we'll figure out how to get to the point where we want, and we always manage to do it.
Could have been awkward if you had to let your dad go, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Unless it was payback for that time he grounded you. Anyway, Eddy, what's the standard in general like across the top league in Belgium in terms of the pitches? You say the national stadium isn't up to spec at the moment. Is that a common problem, or is it just a particular incidence there?
Yeah, it's a very difficult team in Belgium, I think, and especially talking about other clubs' pitches. But I feel like there are some teams who know the importance of the pitch. And I mean, the top, most of the time, the top level teams, look at Bruges, look at Leuven, of course, they're supported by Leicester, we all know, but they know the importance of the pitch. Antwerp does it, they have a very great pitch as well. But the standard in Belgium, I would say, isn't at the point where we all like to be. And this is not to criticize the groundsmen of the other teams, because I know they do a lot of work on the pitches, and they even do more work than we do at Genk. But we have the means to maintain the pitch in a proper condition. And yeah, I know we have all the machinery, we have the fertilizer, we have the budget, we have the staff. But that's the thing from the boards of the other clubs. They don't know the importance of the pitch. I always say they rather buy the third left back instead of spending an extra 100,000 euros on the pitch. That's completely wrong. And I'm very lucky. Our sports director, he always says, first it's the players, second the pitch, and then everything else. And that's the way it should be.
I think that attitude has become more common in certain places. It's not that common across Europe in general.
No.
The pitch and the grounds team is very much seen as an outgoing rather than an investment. And I think the kind of things that you've been doing in making your case is obviously the way to change that. But there will be resistance from club boards because they're trying to keep the purse strings under control.
Yeah, of course, there will be a lot of resistance. I had a lot of resistance when I started in Genk as well. But it's just building up trust and building up a story to convince the board that you need extra materials, that you need a hybrid stadium pitch. I mean, in Belgium, we only have, I think we have like 6 hybrid stadium pitches on 16 clubs. That's just insane. I mean, we have a very short period of rest between the last fixture of the league and the first fixture of the new league. I think in general we have like 6, maybe 7 weeks sometimes. To grow in a natural pitch, this is very hard. To grow in a pitch on a hybrid pitch, it's no problem. So all these teams, they can't do a proper renovation because they have a natural pitch. Yeah, they should make hybrid stadium pitches the minimum for clubs in Belgium, in my opinion. And this would help improve the quality of the pitches during the whole year, but also to get the proper renovation for teams so they won't have to struggle with all the POA and stuff and all the the black layer in the pitch the next year. But yeah, it just isn't happening in Belgium at the moment. But on the other hand, a lot of grounds teams in Belgium, they don't spend a lot of time in building up a case.
Yeah,
And
that's the key to it.
Yeah, and that they need to do that as well. And of course, it's always a circle when you have little staff. You don't have the time to build up a case and working on your computer and working on the desk in the office. So it's hard for them because they're already struggling with a lot of pitches while they're understaffed. But the importance of doing that, yeah, it's just enormous.
It's been very similar in the UK in that respect, but that has changed over the last couple of decades that I've been around this industry for sure. There's more and more managers that can make that case and are acting in a business-like fashion. In terms of the investment that you've got to date, what's the next thing that you want to now look at in terms of developing? You say you're rebuilding a training ground.
Yeah, we're completely building a new training ground. So the situation in Genk is very unique. Um, for starters, we are a non-profit organization, which is very strange. I think we're the only club in the world. So we don't get any money from investors. It's all by selling players. So and now yeah, we're building a new training facility. So in Genk we have a stadium ground. Behind the stadium is the training grounds for the main team, and on the opposite side of the stadium is the youth academy. So it's all at one big site, and then behind the youth academy we will be building the new training facilities for the main team, which is completely built in a natural habitat. So it took us a long while to get the permits. So we're investing in that now, and we're doing a proper investment. We're building an amazing facility, and we're also building amazing pitches. We're not going for the normal way pitches were built in Belgium and Netherlands, and we always had a drainage in sand with sand beams going up, and that's the way pitch construction worked in Belgium. So we're doing the proper construction like teams are used to in England with the gravel surrounding the drainage, a proper sand buildup. It's all going to be hybrid, which we are really longing for because we don't have a hybrid training pitches at the moment. We try to recreate hybrid pitches by implementing lava in the pitches, which has been helpful as well.
Yeah.
It's not the same as a proper hybrid pitch, of course. So the next investments in that will be, of course, for once the pitches, and then a lot of extra machinery, because the distance between a training pitch and a stadium is like 1.6, 1.7 kilometers apart. So it's too hard to do it all with
Yeah.
just one set of machinery. And then for the rest, any big investments aren't necessary at the moment. Maybe in the future, in the next 5 or 6 years, I think we will have some hybrid training pitches at the youth academy as well. But yeah, that's really looking into the future, because we're also going to build like a stand for 2,300 people at pitch number 1 of the youth academy
Oh wow.
to bring our second team back to Genk, because we're now renting out a stadium 40 kilometers away from us. So we rent a stadium, but the pitch is just the pitch maintenance is for Genk. So we have one guy over there doing maintenance, but we want to bring the second team back, also for the ladies team of Genk. So yeah, we're looking into that now. We plan on starting the day after we finished construction of the training ground. So yeah,
Oh wow.
it's going to
Okay.
be a couple of busy years.
Eddie, building a training ground from scratch, big project, sounds quite exciting. Obviously, you've been very involved in that. What's the process been like?
Yeah, the process has been very hard. I think it was the second week when I started working at Gang. They were telling me, "Yeah, Eddie, we're also going to build a new training ground, and we want to start playing there at the summer of 2023." So we're now almost summer 2025.
There was a little thing called COVID that got in the way, I guess.
Yeah, it wasn't only COVID. It was a lot of things. I think COVID even sped up the process
Oh
instead of
really?
slowing it down.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and then I think it was like 3 years ago. I started talking to the first companies to see what we wanted to do with the with the pitches. Um, Then 2 years ago, I started expanding, started talking to a couple of more companies. And then in the end, they gave me the green light to do the proper, to get the proper offers in from all the companies, in which we started with a budget we had in mind for 3 pitches. Back then, it was 3 pitches. With 2 hybrid pitches and 1 natural pitch, because they felt like, yeah, if we have a game on Saturday and an away game on a natural pitch, you need to play on a natural pitch in training sessions instead of a hybrid pitch. And I was like, yeah, no, it makes no sense. You need to train in the best possible conditions, and that's a hybrid pitch. So in the end, I convinced the board and the training staff as well to install 3 hybrid pitches. Um, and then I think it was like a half year ago, I had all the offers in, which were all Dutch and Belgian companies. So the standard way of pitch construction as we knew it. And I had one company from abroad, um, and they offered something completely else, so completely different, also completely other pricing. um, and yeah, I went to the board with it, and I told them, yeah, this is what we want. This is what we've been doing the last 20, 25 years in Belgium and in the Netherlands, and this will work as well. We will have some proper pitches to train on, but it's not the standard that we're looking for, I feel. We're building an amazing facility. We want to grow as a team. We are very well known for our youth academy and selling big players. If we want to keep on doing this, we need to have the best pitches possible. And I think it was like a 5-minute meeting with the sports
Really?
director, and he was like, "Yeah, you're completely right. Go and expand and see what other offers you get in." So now we're almost at the end of the process and deciding which company is going to construct the pitches. It's between 3 companies at the moment, and I think in on February, no, on April 3rd at 9 in the morning, this decisions will be made. So I still have 8 stressful days up until then, and then it's finally a bit of rest.
So do you have in mind the company you'd like to work with? I'm not going to ask you to share that with us, but do you know where
Yeah,
you want to go?
I have a company in mind. There, I mean, it's 3 well-known companies. They all have benefits and disadvantages, if you could call it even that. I mean, the difference are just that tiny.
Yeah.
The pricing is also it's hardly a difference. But yeah, it's just seeing who we feel the best with, I think, and in the end, pricing will have an effect on the end result as well. But me and my right hand, we have a favorite company in mind at the moment.
Okay. So when's that project due to end, and you have your first kind of game on the, or first training session on that facility?
We will start. So the excavation works for the building are already been busy for 2.5 months. Last week they started excavation for the pitches. So it's just the construction company is doing the excavation for the pitches as well.
Yeah.
Um, the construction of the pitches will start in October 25. Pitch construction, including seating and stitching, needs to be done in the end of April 26, and we're looking to have the first training sessions over there end of October, maybe the end of November, worst case, because the construction of the building, yeah, they will have some issues in the process. Normally, we were supposed to start there in the preparation for the season of 26-27,
Yeah.
but yeah, it got clear very fast that that wasn't possible. So we're looking for October, November 26 to go there.
So you got a busy couple of years coming up in terms of getting some stuff established. You got any different approaches that you're going to take on bringing those pitches up to standard and growing them in?
My first idea was, and this was the ideal scenario in which I had to convince the board as well, because it would require a lot of extra time from the no, it's the opposite around. So the construction company, they want a lot of time to do as many excavation works as possible and to store soil and sand on the place where the pitches need to be. And
Yeah.
in my ideal scenario, I wanted to install the pitches summer 25
Yeah.
without any hybrid in it, just construction, seeded in, then maintain it for a year without any training sessions on it, do a cowing of the pitch in April 26, then stitch the pitch, and then prepare it for the first training sessions. Um, which so Reese Watson helps us a lot as well from
Yeah.
Raw Stadia, and he was like, yeah, in the most ideal scenario, this would be it. And in the end, the construction company for the building was like, yeah, we're not going along with this story. I mean, we don't have the time and the place to store all the sands and all the materials we need. So yeah, we went for the planning which I already gave you before. And then yeah, in the end, when pitches are constructed, I think we will do more or less the same what we are doing now at the training grounds. It will take a lot more aeration than we do now because it's hybrid pitches. And the thing is, I don't want that sandy base like most of the teams are used to in England, I think. I want a lot more organic material in it because we have very strict laws regarding the usage of water,
Right.
regarding the usage of fertilizers as well. So I want a lot more holding capacity in the top layer of the soil. Um, so we're looking at it like an 85-15 mixture at the moment, which is a lot for
Yeah.
English standards, but for Dutch and Belgium standards, it isn't that high at all. But I know it will require a lot of work from us to maintain a pitch in the best condition possible just by that mixture. But we really need to do so. We have very strict limitations on watering. For to give you an example, I have mm, almost 9 pitches at the moment, and I'm allowed to use 40,000 cubic meters of water per year.
Wow.
So, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm only allowed to use 30,000 cubic meters of water per year.
Okay.
And we asked for 40. They offered us 20 from the government. And yeah, we ended up in the middle. But 30,000 cubic liters of water, when you have a dry and hot summer, it just isn't enough. So that's why, and if then we would have gone with pure sandy sub base, yeah, it would have been insane. And of course, the fines in Belgium, they are laughable as well. I think if we go over, if we use 50,000 cubic liters of water instead of 30, maybe we'll get like a 10,000 euro fine. So,
Right. Okay.
but yeah, we try to do whatever we can to keep the government happy because yeah, like every football team, we are like in a gray zone in a lot of things regarding the law. So whenever we can whenever we can try to, yeah, sorry. Um, so we, yeah, just in the end, we do whatever we can to stick to the laws good as possible.
Eddie, where do you look to for knowledge and to grow your understanding?
Yeah, as I said in the beginning, I knew almost nothing when I started there. I mean, I had a background in I have a bachelor, so and I knew a bit of fertilizing from the gardens and lawns. Um, so I I immediately surrounded me with a lot of people with knowledge. I have the guy from the who delivers our fertilizers to us, and last year I switched from company for the stadium ground. So I have two people helping me out with the fertilizing program at the moment. Um, we are very lucky that Raw Stadia has their main office like 5 kilometers away from us. So Jan and Reese became, yeah, I think I can call them friends at the moment. So Reese has helped us a lot, especially in the beginning, especially when we struggled because we have gray leaf in our stadium for 4 years now. The pathogens are just in the soil, so whenever temperatures and humidity goes up, it's there. And Reese is helpful for that, especially when something goes wrong. I learned a lot from Reese, and now I'm at the level where most of the time Reese is telling the board the same thing that I'm saying, but
Okay.
they'll take more from Reese than from me still. Um, and I built up my network. In the first year, I think I visited almost every club in the top tier division in Belgium. Just go and see how they did things, talk to them, keep in touch with a lot of teams. even exchange some materials. Like in summer renovation, I sometimes give another club a call if I can have their pro car as well, so I can double the speed of pro carring on my pitch. Whenever they need the machinery of mine, I'll give it to them as well. And in the second year, I went abroad. I went to the Netherlands. I went to a lot of teams in Germany, and yeah, from there on, I think now I've been at maybe 35 or 40 different teams all across Europe, and everywhere I go, I take something with me. Sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes it's something that isn't usable at our place, but most of the time it's something good. And I feel like I learn, especially in the beginning, I learned no. In the beginning, I learned the most from the teams who had more than us. But now I'm learning more from the teams who have less than us.
That's
Um,
interesting.
yeah, I went to Manchester City 2 years ago and Man United. Yeah, it's just amazing. It's fantastic. And then you were, yeah, and how many staff do you have on the stadium pitch? Oh yeah, 5 people. And then yeah, okay, I have one on the stadium pitch, and designated means like 70% of his time is on a stadium pitch, and the other 30% is on the training grounds as well. So yeah, it's hard to compare. Um, but yeah, I just talk to as many people as possible, and I try to implement the best things I hear from left and right, and then make my own story of it, and yeah, do whatever I feel is the best at our training ground. Because yeah, every training ground or every stadium is completely different. So
Eddie, how is the job viewed by people in Belgium? Is it something that is looked at as a profession, or is it something that is somewhere below that?
the first question I get asked when people hear I'm a groundsman is it a full-time job?
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the level of appreciation for our job. And they always tell me, yeah, it's like full-time job. It's even more. I think it's like 2 full-time jobs even from time to time. So there's little appreciation for the job. There's little knowledge of the job. It's very hard to get staff in as well, because little people knew that we really have a job and we can make a decent living by doing this job. And step by step, we're getting out there. We get a little bit more media coverage, which I feel is it's it isn't an important thing for us, but it's the most important thing in for us as a profession in Belgium to get the media coverage.
What kind of media coverage is that? Is that within professional publications, or is it within
No,
the
not
sports
only
media?
professional, just in general. I mean, for instance, the a lot of pictures in Belgium in winter aren't in the best conditions, to put it in friendly. And then the media always attacks us. Oh yeah, they're playing on a shit pitch, and yeah, the game hasn't been the best game because of the pitch. But they never ask why is the pitch in a in
Yeah.
a bad condition. And now this year, one newspaper visited all the pitches, talked to the head groundsman in charge of the pitches, and so we got a bit more understanding why certain pitches are in this condition. And so that's the first step. I've been asking for 3 years now to get one guy. Is it me? Is it Luke from Leuven? Is it Axel from Bruges? Whoever wants to be there. So in the beginning of the season, all referees come together along with all the media. It's in Tubize. It's in the training ground of the national team. And I asked for like 30 minutes just to give a small presentation of what do we do, why does it sometimes why doesn't it work out all the time the way we want to, um, what do we need to get better pitches, just to give them a clue of what we do
Yeah.
and why it isn't this way. And for 3 years I haven't got a proper answer. one time they invited me over, and then 2 days before it was, yeah, no, we don't have the time, so sorry, you can't come. For me, that would be a start.
That sounds a superb idea, and if you could get that going, that would be a big, talking to all of the media in one go.
Yeah.
So easy for you to get the message across rather than trying to fight every single time. Do you do anything with the media that come to your pitch?
Yeah, we do. I mean, yeah, we were very lucky as well. A lot of analysts in Belgium, they played at Genk in the
Right.
past,
Okay.
so there's like a connection with them. And my how do you say it? The guy who's in charge of the press at Genk, our press director. Yeah, he's a very big supporter of the grounds team. So whenever the media is saying something that makes completely no sense, he picks up the phone and he just give a call to the newspaper or to the reporter, and he says like, yeah, you're going to delete this, and this is the way you're going to put it in. So that's helpful for us as well. On the other hand, whenever we get very good criticism on the pitch, or we last year we had Greyleaf, and one of the analysts, Wesley Song, he played for Ajax in the past, so he was quite a big player. He defended us in the most viewed football program in Belgium. So I just sent him a text to thank him for that. And then the next game he got over, and we sat down on our knees before the game just to look at the pitch, and I explained him a bit about the hybrid system. So whenever if you take the time and you put yourself open for conversation with those guys, I think they will come and they'll try and understand what's going on, but it's just not a general thing.
And I think it's going to take a few individuals to keep pushing that agenda with the contacts they have in the press, I think. And that's pretty much the same in the UK. There's things going on with criticism of pitches for Women's Champions League and Women's Super League at the moment that we're seeing. And a lot of that is not understood, the reasons why. And I don't want to get into those individual cases, but it's just a general thing. Very easy to criticise the quality of the pitch, but very rarely do you get, oh, that's a superb surface, how did we get to that? It's more of a throwaway comment when it's a good surface, but it's just expected. And you've got so many things to deal with, not least, the demands in terms of the amount of playing time put on there, events, and then that little thing called Mother Nature that doesn't want to play ball with you all the time. So.
Yeah. Yeah. For the last 17 months, I think we broke records regarding rainfall in Belgium. So 17 months in a row, of course, pitch conditions can be worse can be not in an optimal condition from time to time then. So.
But all you have to do is cut the grass and sometimes water it, isn't it? That's
That's what people think. You come in on Sunday morning, you cut the grass, and you go home for the next 2 weeks, and then come in on Sunday morning again.
Exactly. Well, we all know the truth, Eddie. Eddie, honestly, it's been an absolute joy talking to you. It's good to spend some quality time chewing things over. I know you've got a number of big things going on there, so we better let you get back and do some work. But thanks for your time today.
Yeah, I loved it as well, so I'm very happy to do this.
Thanks, Eddie.